Okay, so I added another layer, and now we're going to work on the wrinkles. So I'm just going to use this as a guide. And she's got some shades in here, but well, we'll do shades first and then wrinkles. Okay, so what you want to do is get a white, a bright white paint. And we're going to try to figure out where her breasts are. So about there, maybe. And then I'm just going to duplicate that and flip it and then move this over. And hopefully this is where her breasts are. Okay, so now, that might need to go over just a little more. I don't know. Okay, so now I'm going to merge that down. Go to my blur, Gaussian blur. And I'm going to blur it to about a 25. And I'm going to duplicate it. I don't think it was bright enough, so I'm going to duplicate it so that it brightened it up a little bit. And then I'm going to save it and see if that's where the breasts go. You might not even really be able to see. Not that much, yeah, because the jacket's in the way. But we're still going to pretend like the jacket's not in the way. Okay, I'm going to add another layer, and this time I'm going to use black. I'm going to make my paintbrush a little smaller. And the same thing, I'm going to make that arc. Same thing we did on the butt. And duplicate that layer, transform and flip it, and move it. Where is it? There it is. Move it over to this side. Merge it. And blur this down. Let's try 17. And then I'm going to take my opacity down. Okay. So it's subtle. And this you might be able to see a little more of, so I'm going to check it. Since I really couldn't tell if the other ones were in the right spot. Well, you really can't see it. But you're learning, you know, how you do it anyway. Okay, so now add another layer. And I don't want black. I want a darker gray. And I'm just going to look at what she did. I'll move this out of the way. Okay, I'm going to make my brush a little bigger. Everything keeps getting out of my way. Okay, I'm going to make my brush a little bigger. Now what I'm going to do is just follow this a little bit, okay? And blur it. I blurred it to about a 25, and then I'm going to take my opacity down. I don't want it to be super noticeable. Okay, now she's got wrinkles in there. So she's got wrinkles and shades and different things. Let's see, maybe a few more shades. I'm going to take my brush and make it a little smaller. I'm just going to add a few shades. going to take the opacity on them down. Okay. Add another layer. This time I'm going to grab a black paint. Alright, so we want it on a white. We're going to start over here, and then we're just going to curve a few wrinkles. Now you have to, some of this isn't going to show. Remember that we cut some of this off. I just don't remember which ones we cut off. So, or how high we went up. So I'm going to duplicate that. Move it down just a little. I'll zoom up so you can see better. Move it down. Black paint, bucket fill, bucket fill, bucket fill, bucket fill. Go to your top layer. Take your arrow down, go back to your top layer, and merge it down. Go back to your smudge brush. I need it to be just a tad bit bigger. And smudge. Now these ones can be a little bigger wrinkle. Okay? Okay, blur those to a 3. Oh, I did it too. Okay, now you can leave them as they are, and just take your opacity down on them so that they're not, or you can leave them, or you can take some paint and paint them whiter. It's up to you. Like you could go to your paint. Don't even know what it'll do. Overlay. That's dark. Let's see. We could go to that dark gray. I don't know if that's really going to make too much of a difference. I don't know. Well, anyway, let's see. Duplicate the layer. Transform and flip it. And move it on the other side. And I'm not even sure what this is going to look like, so I'm going to merge those together. Now, these, I'm going to just go over that top where that bevel is and clear it. I don't want the wrinkle there. And I don't even know if this is going to look good as a wrinkle. It don't look like hers. So, let's see what it looks like. It's not even that noticeable. But if you want, you can take it down even more so that it's even less noticeable. So, okay. All right. And actually, all 3 of them are showing. So there's 1, 2, 3, and actually her breast started right there. So it didn't start it way up here. It starts about right here. So I'm going to find that layer. There's one, and there's the other one, and there's the other one. So what I'm going to do is merge 1, 2, not that one, it's that one. Oh, not that. I am going to move this down there and see if that is more noticeable. Not really. Not super noticeable. Okay. Well, now we're going to work on our, because that, nothing really is showing up that great in there anyway, so I don't think it really makes a difference. So what we're going to do here is, do you want buttons on it? Do you want button? Okay. You just want one? Okay. So let's try. Make them very tiny. This is called your ellipse tool. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to start out with a darker color. I'm going to get a paintbrush. I'm going to make it really small. I'm going to add like a dot. Well, it ain't working. Let's see. Copy, undo paintbrush, undo, undo, undo. I'm going to see where I'm at. I don't even know where I'm at. I'm going to go up here and add a layer to the top. I don't think I was at the top. And I'm going to paste it. At least this way I can move it around. Okay, so grab a paintbrush, make it white. Just get a little bit in there, okay? I'm going to Gaussian blur this to 2. And then I'm going to go to my colors, colorize it, take my saturation off and lighten it up. Okay. And I can always bevel it a little bit. And then what that did is it lightened it right there. And then you can go to lighten shadow and add a drop shadow. And it's on a 1, so it's not real noticeable. Well, and what you want to do now is, I don't want that. What you want to do now is go to your layer and see where your drop shadow is. This is your drop shadow and this is your button. Go to your drop shadow. If you want your drop shadow to be less dark, you can always take your opacity on it down, okay? So that you don't have that really deep, dark, grayish drop shadow. But then you want to click your drop shadow and you want to merge it to your button. Now, when you click your button and you duplicate it, the drop shadow and the button are together, okay? So you can put another one, you know, wherever you want it. And then you just want it to. So I'm going to, I don't know what you want. You can do what you want. Okay, so if you want 4, I don't know if that one's going to show up. 1, 2, 3, I don't know. Let's see. You can put one there. Okay, let's try that. And then duplicate. Oops. I'm going to merge that together, and then I'm going to duplicate it, and then I'm going to transform and flip it, and put some on the other side, or do you just want one side? It's up to you. Do you want, you just want one side? Okay. So I'll take those off. And save it. Let's see what those ones look like. They need to go over a little bit more. I'm going to put them right over the top of that bevel. Okay, now do you want more up here, like one more there? One or two, or up? So just duplicate your layer. Move it up. Take your paintbrush or your eraser brush and erase the ones you don't want. Okay? Oops. You just want to erase the one you didn't want. And it's got this drop shadow in there. So what I'm going to do is take my blur and blur in, just try to blur that drop shadow into it. And actually, you could take your smudge brush and try to smudge it a bit. Okay, yeah, that looks better. So save that. Okay. All right. I don't remember when we did this, so I'm gonna